Good day, friends and family. This is Avril, your host here for today. And yeah, you know what? The past week I had such a, I don't even want to say it, stressful week or moments that I really decided I have to share something similar to you and how to cope with it and get it behind you and walk away sort of lighter and in freedom. So with that in mind, let's start our first session. I think the first two I will do video audios, but the last three will just be audios that I will also post. Yeah. So sometimes when you if we're going to start and I have to give a topic for tonight, I would think of coping with stress. I think that I can give that. I'm now just looking from my notes. The pressure you didn't choose. And sometimes this is a pressure that you didn't choose, but that come from outside. But because you do not build your capacity, it's starting to affect you from the inside out. And that's where the danger lies. So you might get up in the morning when you wake up, you're tired, and it's not that you went to bed late. It's not that you anything bothered your sleep during the night, but when you get up, you're tired again because then it's all the thoughts of what is going to happen today that's coming back to you, and that's causing a stress level that you don't know actually that's existing, or either you know it but you do not want to speak it. So it's not laziness, people, that you think that, oh, yeah, it's the day again, or it's not fatigue, it's not weakness. It's somewhere, it's a pressure that you are not aware of. So what is actually causing the pressure? Let's sometimes we have to diagnose. I always, when something is not right, when I feel emotionally burdened, or there's something, or I feel anxious suddenly, I track back, I stop, ask myself, what happened? Whom did you speak to? Where were you? All the then that red light starts flickering. Then I know, okay, it was this. Then I pause and I say, Lord, I cannot do anything about this, but you can. You take over. Then I walk and everything, or I start praying for the person. Just maybe it's them that I picked up because they're not strong enough, and I'm an intercessor, so I can intercede on their behalf. So now we're going to do our diagnosis of the stress. Stress is actually what's happening inside of us, and there's ways that it's coming in. So what it is, it's currently, I say there's two things that you can do. Either the stress, and I've seen it a lot of times, are affecting you from the outside. Your entire face looks like stress. Don't talk to me, don't do anything. You just want to lash out, and normally it's to the people nearest to you because it's that stress building from the inside out. So you do not build your capacity. And what we should actually do is, the world will always be there, the stress levels will always be there, but you have to build your capacity to cope with it and say, oh, it's you. Recognize it, walk away from it, and decide that I can do nothing about this, but let me give it to somebody else, which is normally the Lord. So this week we're going to focus on how to increase your capacity to deal with this stress level. So now, why does it feel so physical? Because it's a physical thing, because your body can feel it. It can be either something big or something small, but it's coming to you, and because you didn't build the capacity to deal with it, to say, okay, stop just here, this is not part of me, I choose to walk away from this and give the people or give the situation to somebody else. Yeah, because in most of these times when I don't even have to explain, you're in a zone that you don't actually want to be. The first things is, then your heart rate levels start to beat. Man, your head, something is throbbing. The blood doesn't flow properly. And sometimes even your limbs, your hands and your arms and your legs becomes limp. It's just numb. You just numb. You don't know even actually why. And I could remember there was years back that was a lady, but that was panic and anxiety attacks, But because it was of stress levels of the husband, whenever he said something or what, then she becomes in such a panic and she tried to run from home. And then I found her laying over my gate and I asked you, what's going, Deborah, what's going on? She said, they called me Juffrou that, Juffrou, my legs are lame. I said, what happened? I don't know. I said, okay, let's calm, just calm, breathe in, breathe out, calm down. And so we came to the root of it. I said, and then she realized it was words. I said, okay, distinguish that words from who you are. Did you cause it or did somebody else? If it was somebody else, I said, okay, now come walk to the space where you feel safe. Just give one step to your safety zone. And when she did that, she became normal again. I gave her a glass of water. And I said, every time, just focus on what caused that. Then you step into your your safe space, and give the person what. But I will also show you how to do that. So yeah, your breathing, as I said, your blood flows, your heart pumps, man, everything is just going haywire. But then stop immediately. Don't let it go on for 5 to 10 or 20. Sometimes people take it a day, weeks into they talk about something they cannot do anything about. Learn to manage it, build the capacity to do so. So you don't fight, you don't run, you sit in a meeting, and as how everything is now. Oh, everything is going high. I always say, wave and smile, even though within you it's storming. So those are the things happening. But the stress levels are that high, but you still need to cope. And then comes the emergency where you just break out to the people nearest to you and say, "Wah!" And they think, no, what did they do? Maybe it was just the dishes that it wasn't washed, or maybe it's just a cup that was standing, or you took too long, and then you go on off like that. So it's that inward thing that is actually hampering you. Now, if we look back at a guy like Joseph, let's take the biblical thing. When Joseph, but Joseph went from the pit. Just think, as a young man at the bottom of the pit, and his brothers was now around this pit, and they were eating, and later he heard them negotiating and things like that. And he didn't cause himself to be there. Other people chose to throw him in the pit. So just think of how he felt. Joseph didn't choose that pit. Sometimes it's a pressure that we didn't choose. The situation currently that's giving you stress, whether it's now the child, the husband, the family, the workplace, the assignment that you have, you sometimes didn't choose it. It comes from an outside external force. And that is the one that you must start identifying. What caused this? And then, can I do something? No, I cannot. So let it go. Yeah, you say, Avril, it's easily said. It is easy, people. The moment that you know how to work these things out, you will just start running this race and run it with endurance. So if we look at his line where was Joseph's line was in the pit, then it was slavery, then it was the palace, and it seems as though it's looking a bit better. Then Potiphar's wife came and accused him that he wants to sexually abuse her, and from there he's back into to jail again, behind bars. And there he was for quite a few years. But even in there, when the baker, remember the baker and the cupbearer had the dream, he could see on their faces, but something was wrong. So he still did his work, and he asked what's wrong, and they told him, and so he gave a layout, and years later, at first he got now to the prison, but in any case, and then he suddenly, overnight, became second in command, where he was now the prime minister, or what you call it. So that can also happen to you, but we must be in that pit experience that we currently have, maybe with a challenging child or relationship, or somewhere at church you're on 3 committees and things like that. People, scale down. I just had a conversation also with a fellow friend of mine, and I said, you know what, sometimes we want to give ourselves to the world, but it seems as the world doesn't give anything, and then we must go sit. I normally call to sit and ask, oh Lord, please help me this. No, you first. Invest in yourself first, and then the others. So as we said, Joseph didn't have a straight line. He was up and down and down, and then that was stress levels that he experienced. So you cannot always choose your pressure, but you can always choose your posture inside of it. Are you going to burst out? Are you going to give it what it requires? Or you just going to become quiet, think it through, write it down, and say, Ahman, go. Um, like this weekend, when I had such a stressful things. Just then it was this one, then it was that one, then it was so overwhelming that I took a paper and I said, "Now I'm going to get up and do this and etc." And as I was still climbing that step, I started bursting out in laughter and I said, "What are you doing? Is this you or is it someone else?" So then I had to realize, but this is not coming from me. So I let it go. And I had the victory and I became peaceful. And this morning when I got up, it was the first time I told my husband, actually, I went to bed early, but I got up and I was not tired because I was in a beautiful space because the stress levels and everything just gone and I just indulged myself in me moments and things because the pit that might look sometimes like a bank statement that you got or a call that to say your geyser broke or your what there's a pipe leaking or things like that or your marriage is gone or man the body is not cooperating, there's some such illness or diseases within it, those bring the stress levels. But at the end of the day, you build your capacity, build the capacity to deal with these things and walk away from that. You can do these things. And you will tell me, but it's not easy. Sometimes one incident happened in a person's life. Then they will say, I know, or I must always fight through everything. Nothing works out for me. Just hear what you speak. As I said, become calm, think what caused it, write it down on a piece of paper. You can either crumble it up or you can tear it up and throw it and say, it's not part of me. It's nothing. It's what it was when I was actually sitting with this, it's almost like stress and everything and everyone wanted to bombard me from all sides. This was now me. I came to my senses and I said, "No, Lord, it stops now." I said, "I am a kingdom citizen. That is the world. The world cannot treat me like that. So, Father, I give them over to you. You deal with them. Let them fight with you and see how far they come, because the battle is, by the way, not mine. The battle is yours, Lord." I could feel that relief of, I started smiling, I continued with what I want, and I was in victory. And the situation never changed, it's still the same. But I said, "Lord, you are stronger. Deal with the enemy. I don't want to deal with him because sometimes the enemy erects people to work on its behalf. He needs a host." I told myself, "Avril, don't become a host and you manipulate and bombarding and want to look down on other people." No, it's not like that. So I would love you to take a sheet of paper. That's what I also did. That's what I did. Yeah, I take my piece of paper, then I to put a line in the middle, especially when you stress levels. I know now already how to cope with it, but just for you to have a point of departure. Then you write on the left page, you can write what is actually true. Now you write, this incident came up against me, this one and this one and this and this and this. At the end, when I draw my two, left and right, and what is mine to carry? Mine to carry was Zil's 0. On this side, it was 4 things coming from outside. That wasn't mine. I couldn't do anything about it. And those are the 4 things that I said, "Lord, they are not mine, they're yours. I give it back to you." And then I was so calm, and I'm still calm, and I relaxed, and life could go on. So, friends and family, hear me. You are not in the pit because you failed, and you will not be in it forever. You know now a solution to get yourself out. Pause, think, track what it is. Can you change it? No, I cannot. Give it to the Lord. Surrender. That is what I can tell you, is to surrender. With that in mind, build your capacity, become smart. What is not yours, if you did not cause that stress levels, which is normally the fact, then don't take the responsibility. But our next session is a very interesting session. It's going to be at the leadership and at work, where you normally think you can take all the things, and that is also causing stress. So with that in mind, please like and subscribe to my channel, share if there's people that needs to share. Thank you, love you, everyone.